Let us move on to glands. First one is sweat glands, and sweat glands are of two types, eccrine and apocrine. If you see the structure of eccrine and apocrine sweat gland, you will find that eccrine sweat gland, they have two portions. As you can see, this is the duct portion, this is the coil portion. So this is coil, this is duct, and this duct directly opens over the skin surface, and this epidermal portion of the duct is zigzag. Okay, while this is apocrine. Apocrine also have two portions. This is the duct portion, this is the coil portion, and this duct do not directly opens over the skin surface, it opens along with hair follicle. Okay, so these are two major differences which you need to remember. Let us note down them. So if we see the differences between eccrine and apocrine, the first difference is duct opens. Here duct opens directly over the skin surface, while apocrine opens along with hair follicle. Second difference, site. These are the common sweat glands present almost everywhere, while apocrine, they are present over axilla, areola and groin. If you see the nerve innervation, you will find eccrine sweat glands, they are under cholinergic control, while apocrine are under adrenergic control. Fourth difference is disorders. I don't know whether you have noticed or not, but the first alphabet of apocrine is A. So you can see that all the things here are starting with A. So I have made it very simple for all of you. You can remember all these differences very easily. So apocrine, duct opens along with hair follicle. The sites are axilla, areola, and the nerve is, so it is under adrenergic control. And you can see eccrine, C comes twice. So this is under cholinergic. Okay, so it is very simple to remember. Let us come on to disorders. The disorders of eccrine sweat glands are anhidrosis, hyperhidrosis, and malaria. So anhidrosis, hyperhidrosis and malaria, these are the disorders of eccrine, and the disorders of apocrine are bromhidrosis, chromhidrosis, and Fordyce disease. So anhidrosis, hyperhidrosis, malaria, and bromhidrosis, chromhidrosis, and Fordyce disease. Now if you look at the first four disorders, they are quite obvious from the names itself. N, absence, hydrosis, sweating. So absence of sweating, anhidrosis. Hyper, excessive, hydrosis, sweating. So excessive sweating is hyperhidrosis. Brom, foul smell, hydrosis, sweating. So foul smelling sweating is bromhidrosis. Chrome, color. So colored sweating is chromhidrosis. Now this foul smelling sweating is generally due to bacterial infection. So it can occur in both the sweat glands, but generally it is apocrine. So apocrine more than eccrine. So remember this fact because this question was asked in PGI and both were the correct choices. So in PGI you can mark both the answers, but if you need to choose one, apo more than eccrine. So mark apo. Now these two, that is malaria and Fordyce disease, both are due to blockage. So both these are due to blockage in the duct. So when there is blockage in the duct, of eccrine sweat gland, malaria occurs, and when there is blockage in the duct of apocrine sweat gland, Fordyce disease occurs. Okay. Now, depending on level of blockage, malaria can be of various types. Like these are the types of malaria and these are the level of blockage. First type is malaria crystallina. So, malaria crystallina, blockage at the level of stratum corneum. Second, malaria rubra. This is the most common type. Blockage at the level of Malpighian layer. Now, Malpighian layer is the lower epidermis, that is stratum spinosum along with the stratum basale. This is known as Malpighian layer. And malaria profunda, blockage at the level of dermoepidermal junction. So, crystallina, stratum corneum, rubra, Malpighian layer, and profunda, dermoepidermal junction. So, depending on the blockage, it can be of various types. Among them, the most common is malaria rubra. So, malaria rubra is so common that almost all of you might have suffered from this. It is commonly known as prickly heat. Okay, so prickly heat is very common and it is due to blockage in the duct of eccrine sweat gland. Then Fordyce disease. Fordyce disease is common in females in their second decade. So, it is common in females in their second decade where patient presents with itchy papules over axilla. Axilla is the common site. So, itchy papules over axilla. So, these are various points which you can remember. Along with this, there are few important facts which you can note down. So, there are few more disorders of eccrine and apocrine which are not common, but sometimes questions are asked. So, you can just remember their names and one point about them. Like in eccrine, you can note down hydrocytoma. It is malformation of eccrine sweat gland leading to retention of sweat. So, it is the malformation leading to retention of sweat, hydrocytoma. This is a disorder of eccrine. Then similarly, neutrophilic eccrine hidradenitis, it occurs. So, neutrophilic eccrine hidradenitis, it occurs after chemotherapy. So, when patient undergoes chemotherapy, what happens? There is infiltration and degradation of the eccrine sweat gland. Okay, and this is seen after chemotherapy. So, just remember these two names, hydrocytoma and neutrophilic eccrine hidradenitis. These are also disorders of eccrine sweat gland. Similarly, in apocrine, you can remember hidradenitis suppurativa. Hidradenitis suppurativa. Now, this disorder you might have read in surgery because these patients, they generally present with multiple interconnecting sinuses and scarring. Okay, so interconnecting sinuses and scarring can be treated only with surgery. Okay, so generally surgical treatment is given in these patients. So this is not very important here, but in first stage where only nodules and abscesses are seen, in that stage we can give medical treatment. Okay, so one important point which you need to remember here is that there is one biological drug which is approved for use in hidradenitis suppurativa. So you can write down one important fact, and that drug is adalimumab. Adalimumab, which is TNF alpha inhibitor. Adalimumab, which is TNF alpha inhibitor, is adalimumab, which is TNF alpha inhibitor, is approved for use in hidradenitis suppurativa, also used in psoriasis. It is also used in psoriasis.